recording now. And I am going to share my screen because not everybody has an agenda. So can everybody see that? I hope.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of small, but
it's small. Can
a
you
little
make
bit.
it bigger? I don't think I can control that on my end.
It's okay.
Brian, can you spell your last name for me? I can't see it anymore. Oh, I do see it. Never mind.
So it's McCourbrey.
Oh, you've had to spell that for people your whole life, haven't you?
Yep.
Yep.
I probably spelled it wrong too.
Excellent. Oh, Hazel's here too. I feel like Hazel's on the board, but she's not. So she's a guest also. All right, great. I'm going to bold the people who are here. So just kind of some quick news. Nicole Decretio is the president-elect. She's vice president of SPJ right now. So she's our publicity coordinator. She and I have not talked about whether or not she's going to stay on. I believe she's going to stay on. I think she's going to stay on our board. I'm not sure what that means when she becomes the president next year, but she'll be the president in October, I guess, October 6th. Try to keep her rolling as much as possible. So that's some great news. She won the election by 7 votes. That's it. So it's pretty impressive. A good, well-thought contest. James May is one of our at-large members, and James May has taken on a position in the Georgetown chapter. I think president, actually, a big leadership role. Vice president? Okay, yeah, a big leadership role. So James is not going to serve on our board anymore after this. They actually said that they had to be done after we go to the end of the year, but they told us they had to be done after the conference. So we are gonna, hopefully maybe they'll come back and we can have like a little goodbye Zoom for James. I'm not sure about Ruth or Nicole if they were planning on coming tonight. I didn't get an email from them, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on the waiting room and see if Hazel, I'm going to make you the co-host. Okay. Just because sometimes I get chatty and then I forget to look.
Sure.
So okay, Hazel's the co-host. If you have any questions at all, you can put them in the chat. And Hazel hopefully can monitor that. If there's any questions or any, if you want to comment, Hazel, if you can keep an eye on if anybody has their hand up, that would be great too. Because I can't see that when I'm looking at the agenda. Our next meeting is going to be December 2nd at 6 p.m. Easter time. We're going to go back to the regular time, December 2nd. Sorry, Alex. I know that those are tough for you.
It's okay. That'll be the students' final season. So here's hoping.
Okay, good. So that will be, and then we're going to revisit this and we're going to take a look again. Do we want to meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? The weekends are out for a few people. Really including me. I know Ruth doesn't like to meet on the weekends, but I don't either with my kids. I'm at horse shows and soccer games and volleyball games all the time. So, and sometimes I just need to not think on the weekends. So weekends are out for me too. So we're going to probably do it Monday through Thursday. I'm actually not opposed to Friday night, but I'm guessing people who are younger than I would like to not do Friday night. So we can revisit that once we have elections, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to pass this over to Sergi. She is going to talk about our membership, she's got some good news for us.
Okay, guys. This is all Hazel's work. Thank you, Hazel. She was able to do an analysis on last 3 rosters. So from August, we had 618 members as of August 1st. And then it jumped to 681 members as of September 10th. And the most recent roster is 791 members as of November 8th, and that's an increase of 173 members since of August. So great news. We're definitely seeing our
Did you say 791?
791. Yes.
Amazing.
So
That is
we are
incredible.
undoubtedly the largest group with SG, which is what we've been saying for a while. But I mean, the numbers absolutely back that up. And thank you, Hazel, again for doing that deep dive. I appreciate that.
Now, did you have any other information with Hazel? I kind of went through that email sort of quickly, but was there more information? I know not geographically, but we have any other analytics on that?
No. And I've written to Billy, the guy at SPJ who does the website and all the computer stuff. And and I'm hoping that he will help me figure out how to analyze the data a little bit better. We're different from chapters because we have not only members all over the country and in almost every state, but also we have like 8 or 10 members abroad. So
That's-
for us, the geographic cut is more interesting than it is for, say, a chapter or I mean, if it's a statewide chapter, then that's a little different from DC Pro, for example, which is Celia's
Yeah.
chapter. We know
Yeah.
everybody most people in the chapter are living in the region. But
Okay.
anyway, we'll wait.
Well,
and see.
I think it's amazing that we have that many members. Someone did the numbers in the gaggle, and do you remember what it was? Does anybody remember what the number was? Like the percentage of I can't remember if it's 25% or what it is for 25% of the members of SPJ are members of the freelance community.
I
Just
think
pretty
it's
amazing.
like 17 or 18. But it
Listen,
could
I'm
be
going to say
more than that.
25. I'm going to say 25, and that's what it's going to be, Hazel.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
17, fine. Okay, so it's somewhere around there.
I
We're
manifest it.
we're rounding up. We actually, you know what? I should stop. I'm kind of scatterbrained because I've been out all day. But I would actually like Celia and Brian to introduce themselves and tell us just a little bit about themselves and what you're doing in the world and what you're doing as a freelancer and maybe why you're here. Why did you want to join us tonight? So Celia, can you start?
Sure. I'm Celia Wexler, and as you mentioned, I'm president of the DC chapter, and I am so jealous of your numbers. But hopefully, we can figure out a way to reach out maybe to the freelance community members that also are in the DMV if it doesn't break any rules. I certainly can you be a member of a community in a chapter? That's my first question, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, I think we would love to reinforce each other. And we would really like to reach out to anybody in the DMV. And if anybody is in the DMV, you're invited to our holiday party, which we're voting on even as I speak, electronically. But
Fun.
I wrote a couple of books while I was working. Yeah, while I was working as actually a public interest lobbyist. But I started out in journalism. Then when I had I only could deal with one-year old, and I'm not three. That's for sure, 3 children. But when she was 1, I couldn't do journalism anymore. It just was too hard. So I shifted to public interest advocacy, and I did that. But then I still wanted to write, so I wrote a couple of books. They did well, pretty much. And then when I actually left full-time work, I did a lot more freelancing, but I never really pitched. I had the luxury of having one editor at the San Francisco Chronicle who loved what I wrote. God bless her. And then ultimately, just through membership in Journalism and Women's Symposium, there was someone who emailed, an editor emailing, looking for somebody to write about some issue. And I wrote her back, and she became my editor. And she went to, I think she was at NBC Think, which shut down. And then she went to CNN Opinion, which shut down. And then she went to US News and World Report, which now doesn't accept op-eds, which for me are mostly about Catholic feminism. I mean, I do other things, but they really have narrowed what they write on, and I'm not going to write about tariffs. I could never, write a good fact-based, well-researched op-ed on tariffs. So for the first time in my writing life, I actually have to learn how to be a freelancer. I have one steady gig with Inside Philanthropy, and that was there was just a completely blind ad that I responded to, and it turned out to be a real thing. And Inside Philanthropy is a very good, respected publication about philanthropy. So it's not the most exciting writing, but my editor is really good. But I need more. I need to know more about freelancing.
Yeah, well, that's great. I will tell you too, Celia, that Ginny is here. Ginny's our vice chair. Ginny is the president of the Cincinnati chapter, and she is the regional, I never get the title right, regional director, called director though, right?
Yeah, regional coordinator.
What's it? What is it?
Regional coordinator.
Yep.
Coordinator. I don't know why I can't remember that. I've got such a mental block. So she's the regional coordinator for Region 4, right?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. So Ginny has leadership roles in the freelance community and in Cincinnati's chapter, and in the region. So you can absolutely cross over and be part of both. I was the vice chair of the freelance community while I was the president of the Houston chapter years ago too. So, if you want to run for our board, Celia, you're welcome to.
Not until I'm finished being president, if it's all
okay. I understand. Okay, well, we're glad you're here. Brian, how about you?
So just real quickly, I was a 42-year community banker, small town bank at the beginning, much larger at the end, but community based. I retired at the end of 16. And part of that community role was we had board members that were on the local newspaper. In fact, several generations of the newspaper family had been board members over a huge period of time. So they were looking for someone to do copy and paste work. And I've always loved writing and journalists. So I went to work for them for 3 years, and that's pretty much what I did. A horrible job at copying and pasting, but the newspaper group itself was a Monday through Friday weekly, which was the original paper. It's been around about 130 years. And then over time, they bought 3 weekly papers. So I just monitored mailboxes, and wherever something came in, put it into their paper. So that was, for 3 years. I left that, and I'm now with local community access television as a volunteer, former board member there. And we're trying to get some cooperation from the high school to do some journalism work. The local paper is still in business. We do some work with them. We'd like to expand on that. But the goal is to try to bring some kids in, get more involved in social media, just teach them about journalism, whether it's straight up journalism. They also offer a class in sports writing. But there just doesn't seem to be much interest. Relatively small high school. So I've always been a fan of writing. Unfortunately, for 42 years, mostly what I wrote was annual reports, which is not the most exciting thing on the planet by any means. So I'm just happy to be here, just trying to learn and see what's available and, what the resources are, and
Okay.
hopefully be able to contribute more at some point.
Hazel, well, I should ask first, Brian, are you an SPJ member?
Yes.
You are. And are you a member of the freelance community?
I'm not sure yet. I just found out I could check on that, but I do get these updates from the freelance community, so I'm assuming that I am, but I
Yeah.
really don't know.
You will be. If you get the emails, you will be. Okay,
Okay.
so knowing that, because I don't think we can give it out to people who aren't SPJ members.
Yep.
Hazel, can you put a link to our resources? So she's gonna link to, and Celia, I don't know if you know about this. If you talk to Hazel ever, you might know about this. But it sounds like you and Hazel are close enough that you might know about this already. But we have a guide that lists 480-ish publications, outlets around the world. And we list them. Hazel's put together this database. It's all her. And it tells you what kind of pitches or what kind of stories they accept, what they're looking for in a pitch, how to pitch them, what they pay, what they cover, so you can sort of search that. It is an absolute, Bible. I'm not religious, so I don't know why I use that word, but it's really a big deal to have access to this. So you'll see it in the chat there, and you can use that link, and it takes you right to it. So you'll find lots of different publications out there
Right.
who are hiring, and a lot of them do pay well, and you can see it. Sometimes the pay is not listed just because we can't find out what they're paying. But that's another ongoing battle, is how much should we get paid for this, right? That is the never ending question. So,
Right.
I'm going to go back to sharing my scene. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. We just had Media Fest in DC, and I just want to do kind of a quick debrief on what everybody thinks worked. What do you think worked while we were there? We produced 11 different freelance focused sessions. Everything from freelancing 101 to how to master the medium, how to write for digital, print, and broadcast, what stays the same, and how they need to change each one of those styles of writing. We talked about how to break into trade publications. We had a meet and greet, an editor meet and greet, where we invited editors in from around the country. We had the editor from Scientific American there, the Washingtonian, Quill Magazine, the San Antonio Report, Eater. We had Edible DC, but Edible DC had a family emergency at the last minute and could not make it. So we had several editors there. We're hoping that people will have connected and be pitching them stories. So I think of the sessions, I think they worked great, but I would love to hear from those of us, everybody who was in attendance, what you think worked.
I think everything was well attended, and I felt like it was very positive response from everybody. I wasn't in all the sessions, but the ones that I were in were always full, and people were very engaged.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else?
I really regretted missing your session with the editors, but I had bronchitis and barely moderated my session, and that was the only thing I was able to attend for Media Fest. It just it didn't go away. But especially like to talk to the editor of the Washingtonian, I would have loved that. And how did you round up these people? And
oh, Celia, this is the bane of my existence, and it is the most exciting part of my year when I do this. I should go back and count. I sent out, I would guess, somewhere between 300 and 400 emails to editors around the country. I tried to focus on the East Coast, but I did reach out to some editors who've been there before, who might travel as well. I really emailed every editor in DC that I could find. And the response rate, sometimes it's, no, I can't get away from work. Is this paid? That wasn't actually, there were a lot of people asking for pay this year. But they did want to know if the expenses were covered. And I'm like, yeah, no, we can't even cover our own expenses. So I do get responses, and sometimes it's just a matter of schedule and can't make it happen. But the conversion rate of the 400 emails I send out to actually people who show up, like we had 8 editors, I think. So, that gives you an idea. And I just keep firing them off. I do it when I'm on my couch at night, sitting there with my kids and my husband, and I just start firing off emails. I do it very personally. I email each one separately. Address them by name. I don't want them to think it's spam. So there's not a big mass email that I send, unless it's all for one. Like I sent, for the Washington Post, I sent maybe 8 editors at one time, one email, just asking if one of them could attend. I'm very surprised that they didn't respond because they have attended in the past. We did have 2 or 3 people who wanted to do it, but they were at the conference presenting a session during that time and they couldn't do it. So we did have other people also who were interested, but it is an interesting, it always feels like a little adrenaline rush, like, are we going to get people who show up? And they did. So I think it's a good number. About 8 is a really good number. So the Scientific American, they've come twice now, and I was really pleased with, they're very approachable. And I think it shows people that just because it's the Scientific American or the Washington Post or the New York Times, it's just people on the other end. It's just people. They're going to either like your pitch or they're not, right? It's not some entity that, they're, for the most part, people are good, right? So I think he was really approachable, and I think it sort of made people a little bit less nervous about the whole pitching process. I think that's one of the things I see the most of the new freelancers is just how to pitch, how to send, how to query somebody, how do I do this? When do I follow up? That sort of thing, Actually, the Washingtonian guy, he's like, oh my God, send me anything you have. He's like, any ideas? Well, I want to look at all of them. He just wanted to see everything. He's always looking, Celia, if you are looking for more to write, he is absolutely, he sounds like he's begging for stories that sometimes like really needs to fill a lot of space. So.
Oh, shoot. I have got a story all written for him. So, see, that's my other problem. I'm not good at pitching. I'm really good at writing things and then sending them off, which sometimes works and often doesn't. So,
well, I'm going to tell you this, and I know that I'm making Sergi a believer in ChatGPT and AI, but if you have a story that you wrote, you could put that into ChatGPT and say, how would I send this as a pitch to somebody without sending the whole story, and just do it that way.
Really?
How would I pitch the Washington Post? And it'll read it's your work, right? It'll read your work and it'll say, oh, here's a few sentences. This is how you do it.
Yeah, Stacey has completely converted me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm a big fan.
I'm on her side
obviously
now.
Never to write a story. Obviously.
Right.
But
I used it during the actual convention for some of the questions that I wanted to ask. So, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did anything, I will tell you, I'm going to say what didn't work. I think the coaching didn't work because it turned out to be just me and Hazel. We all were gung ho and saying, yeah, we'll be there. We'll be able to do that. Thankfully, not more than 3 or 4 people signed up because we wouldn't have been able to do it. We would have had to turn people away. So I would say the coaching either needs to be assigned where you are expected, you have to show up, or we just do away with it. I think it was really helpful for the people who did show up. Don't you, Hazel?
Yes. I thought it was helpful for both of them. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed meeting someone so different, and helping him kind of work through the issues that he's facing as he finishes school as an older person. He's not in his early 20s.
And I coached 2 people, and one was an older woman and one was still in college. And they were both great. But we had 2 of the people we coached were one from Alaska and one from Hawaii, which I was thrilled to see people from those states at the conference. Yeah. So I don't think that worked that well. I think the freelance happy hour, it was great the way, I think it worked really well. The timing of it was that everybody had to leave which I don't think is a terrible thing, but everybody kind of had to leave at 6:30 or so to go to the next thing. All the different events that were happening that night. But that I thought worked really well. It was really nice. It was sort of a smaller group, maybe 15 of us, 10 to 15. And I thought that was great. It has been overwhelming sometimes, but the more the merrier, but still, I thought that was really well done. I didn't go to the coffee mornings. Did anybody? I feel like I showed up at one of the coffee meetings halfway through and nobody was there. Were those who attended? Anybody? Did anybody go to those? I know Ruth was there. I guess I'll ask her because I think she was the one kind of doing those. I'm gonna put this because those are at 8 o'clock, and I don't think maybe we could do one of them instead of on both days of the conference or all 3 days of the conference. Just do one coffee morning.
Yeah.
Oh, what do we think about the mental health hour?
I
Which
loved
one?
it.
The mindfulness or the panel discussion?
Oh, not the session, which we love the session. I'm talking about the
The time and the room.
afternoon ones.
I think personally, I mean, I had a awesome time putting it together. It was absolutely thrilling. I think people that actually came really enjoyed it. It was a very small, intimate group. I mean, we were
Yeah.
all on the floor manifesting and cutting out, and there were people that were actually really engaged with it. There was someone that was speaking to, I can't remember, Stephanie, I believe, and she was kind of in the group to the side speaking. I think we had a real big challenge, and now we know for future conferences, if we decide to do something like this, we need to find out what the AV light situation is. And I really think that
Oh
detracted
yeah.
from the fact that we could not create the mood that we wanted to. And
Yeah.
that speaks to the people that actually stuck around. They actually stuck around with all the hiccups that we had because we had no music that we can barely
Right.
hear. We could not
Yeah.
create the lighting with the candles because we were ready. We were ready. So I think the small group that kind of persevered there, because I think it was a good 5, 6 people maybe, and there was another group on the second day. So, I mean, we
Yeah.
could easily dismiss it and say, no, it didn't work. It was empty. But I also think we have to acknowledge that there were some real challenges that we were dealing with. So I'm
Well,
kind of up in the air.
I also think normally that's a time that the room would be empty anyway, like we wouldn't have a session
Mhm.
there. So, I liked having just a few people there. It's just kind of a low key way to connect. People who get
Right,
overwhelmed in big groups, like that's a way to come and talk to
right,
some of us. And that's exactly what happened. 2 or 3 of the
right,
ladies who came in were asking our advice. They were, cutting out their things and doing mindfulness, but also asking us, oh, how do you do this as a freelancer? I think it's
right.
a really low key I really liked it. I think it's definitely worth doing again. Kind of
Mhm.
took the place of a lunch and learn, and it could be that we do one of these and then the next day is a lunch and learn where it's a little bit more formal setting where bring your lunch, we're going to eat in here together, and we're going to talk freelance shop the whole time. So we might bring that back and do one day of each. I loved it. I thought the conference it was absolutely exhausting. But I loved it. I thought it was great. Does anybody else have any other feedback on any parts of it? Or that you wish we had more of or less of? Wish we had more space in the room?
I just want to mention that a couple of people did come up and in terms of the panel, the mental health panel session, and surprisingly, I had a couple. Most of the people that came up to me were younger students, and they
Oh,
said they really loved it, which I thought was interesting. And the only thing I would have liked, because it was heavily female panelists, I'm wondering if I could have had someone that was male, to kind of counter that,
Yeah.
diversity, that to have that sort of, you know,
Yes, I will
perspective.
say, I think it'd be worth trying for, but let me just tell you, when gathering our speakers, Celia, when gathering our speakers, it is when we get a yes, I just about jump through the roof. I get so excited. So Sergi, the fact that you got 3 yeses and they showed up
Right,
on time and were
right.
there, I'm like, I do not care I mean, as
Right.
long as they were
That's how I was
humans,
too.
I
Right.
was
And with the
pretty happy.
pulse and they were breathing. And the fact that they were, I mean, I was
Professionals, they
floored,
were great.
enthusiastic. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
enthusiastic. The fact that she was New York Times bestseller. These people were they were accomplished. They were accomplished in their field. They really fit the bill. I think it was really
Yeah.
great. And I did get also, Stacey, with that same experience about whether we were getting compensated or not. Like some of the
Yeah.
people were like, yeah. So I ran into that as well. So the fact that they even asked those three, they were like, yes, this is a great topic. And oh my gosh, and I was
Right.
floored. So yeah.
Well, and I will say that that is not, I don't, I kind of have to keep reminding myself, don't feel bad about saying, hey, no, we don't compensate you. I used to feel bad about this, but like my husband is actually flying back right now from Seattle. He just went and presented a paper on, it was something to do with engineering. You'd think I'd know after all these years. But he doesn't ever get paid. He goes out and presents all these things at these conferences, presents his research papers. And like, obviously his company pays for him to go, but like no one's paying him to, that's not a common thing to be paid where, you know what I mean? So I would just say,
Right.
yeah, no, there's no compensation. But you do get into the conference for, at no charge on the day. Like that's it. And just
Right.
drop it and move on. I used to apologize and like, oh my gosh, I wish, and blah, blah, blah. And now I'm just like, oh yeah, no, we don't.
I mean, for
Um,
me, I'm thinking it's great exposure for them. You're speaking to
yeah,
a core group of people that you can either, I don't know, hawk your wares or or just kind of
yeah,
connect and just that sort of a thing. So those three
yeah,
were, I mean, I was floored, enthusiastic from the start. Awesome.
yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so I loved it. I could talk about the conference the whole time, but we can't do that. So I'm going to move on. Social media, also the bane of my existence. Hazel talk about this for a minute. Hazel, could you jump in and talk to us about social media?
Okay. it- I was gone for 2 weeks after the conference, and during the 3 weeks that I wasn't able to get onto our Facebook group to moderate, we had 10 people who, were just kind of hanging there, not having had their requests to join answered. And I find that to be a little bit, I feel weird about, having people want to join us, and we want people to join us, but we don't answer them. So I really strongly encourage the next board to figure out the social media thing. There was a group that was meeting for a while about social media, and then we all got involved in the conference, and so that kind of was backburnered. But I think that it needs to be, I think it needs to be more thoughtful. What are we
So
looking for?
yeah, and I think we need to have that discussion right now. I will say, so I've been thinking about this since I saw the emails between, me, you and Susan were talking a little bit. When I think of it, which isn't often because I got, only so much brain space. I have gone in and let people in. I've admitted people. It does not take me that long, so that worries me that I'm not vetting them correctly. I think we need to talk about the vetting process and how long that takes because I saw the questions that they answered and I took it at face value. And if they answered all the questions, I was like, great, yeah, you're in. That might not be the way to do it. So I think we need to talk about the vetting process. And the other thing I think we need to do with this is, and we have a quorum, so we can vote on this. I think we need to create a position that is the social media manager of the freelance community. And that is the job of the social media manager is to take over X, Blue Sky,
and
I don't think
Facebook.
we're on Instagram. Are we? Right, we're not on Instagram.
We're not.
Facebook, and then make the decision. Run some analytics. Look at it. Is this worth it? I think it could be worth it. I think it is worth it if we can be engaged. But I think that is, as the chair, I have a certain amount of time that I'll spend each week doing, organizing the conference, sending out all those emails, right? Making up the agenda, setting the meetings, all those things, right? And then we've got Sarah J, who does her stuff for all of the membership, right? We've got different people, and Ruth usually takes the notes. I'm doing it today because she's not here. So then piling the social media onto one of those people who is already doing all of this stuff, I think is too much of an ask. I think it has to be, this is just my opinion of it. I think it has to be a designated person. I think there should be a social media manager, or we can call it, it can be a better name than that, on the board. And hopefully someone will run for it. We did meet somebody at the conference who she said she's very interested in getting with social media. I don't know if she will. I'm going to reach out to her and ask her if she's interested in doing this or running for this position, if we decide we want to make it a position. So I think we need to capitalize on the people who did show that kind of interest at the meeting. But I think to start, because we do need to have a little discussion about this, I'd like to know what the vetting process is, Hazel. What should I have been doing rather than just letting those people in if they answered the questions?
Well, look at what their answers were and see and then, there are times when I just do the copy and paste. I copy their questions and answers and put it in a note. And there are,
Wait, why do you copy that? What do you mean?
we keep notes in the activity log. Because, we haven't had a problem in years now, but there were problems in the beginning with people who were contentious and people who would get off topic. We had one problem recently with somebody. I wish I could remember exactly what it was. Oh,
I know
there was somebody.
talking about Oscar's name.
Yes, Oscar's
Yeah.
name, right. And I mean, I think that we have to be mindful of that. I don't know who that person was that I kicked out of the group, but I'm not gonna, well, we were running up to Media Fest and everybody was too busy. And so there wasn't time to be any more thoughtful about it. I just said, okay, somebody who's going to make fun of somebody's name.
Yeah, and I think that's a different issue, though. I think that, yes, we need to be monitoring and making sure that people are polite, which is I'm surprised we don't have more issue with it, given the world. But specifically with the vetting process, is what you do exactly what I did? Do you just read the answers and say, okay, yep, this is long? I take them at face value. I don't go start digging into their social medias and who do they really write for and do they have a byline? I just look at those questions and I'm like, yeah, you're in, accept it.
No, I just look at, I do usually go to their social media, to their LinkedIn, for example, or Muckrack. Just to see, I want to make sure that they're legit because we have had problems in the past with people who didn't really belong in the group and they would, bring up topics that weren't relevant.
But would it make more sense to read the answers, take them at face value, that they have answered all the questions at face value, trust that the process works. And then if 3 months later they start posting something about, hey, I've got a story idea for you, and it turns out they're a PR person, then we can deal with that when it comes.
I don't advocate going that route because then you really have to be diligent. about, somebody has to be on top of,
I see, okay.
in there all the time to make sure that people don't start doing stuff like that, because
And I guess what I'm saying, even if they're legit, they can still, I could go in and start something. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
no.
if they say, oh, I've written for this, this, and this, but maybe that's what we want to do. Maybe we want to go to LinkedIn. Maybe
Yeah.
do we have them give the LinkedIn? Just say, we need to see your LinkedIn profile.
Well, not everybody has it though. So I think, if they have their own website, I do go to a website, and if it's only PR stuff,
Yeah,
I will reject them.
okay,
And say, this isn't a group for PR. This
okay.
is a group for journalists.
Okay, so it is a little bit more involved than what I did. Lucky those people, because I didn't
Very
vet them
little,
like that.
very
What'd you
little. Usually it
Okay.
takes me less than a minute to look at somebody's stuff and just do it.
Okay.
So that doesn't
Okay, so
mean that I finished those 10 in 10 minutes. I didn't, because I looked
yeah,
at some of them. I'm also interested, and I'm
yeah,
retired. So, I mean, it's not fair for me to say what people who are actively freelancing or
yeah.
actively working should have to do. But I just think, I've got to get out of doing so much work for the freelance community, but it
Yeah,
needs to
so
be
that's
done.
what
And
we're doing. That's what we're doing right now is we are gonna, I just need to know what was going on with the vetting process. I'm not gonna take on social media too. I will just now, I'm not doing that. I've got way too many other things I'm doing for the freelance community.
Yep.
I think we need to figure out what we want our socials to look like. I think that, do
Yes.
we want to have, and I think we need to talk about right now, do we want it to be a board member position, or do we want somebody right now to volunteer and say, I'm gonna take this on?
Well, I think what we have to do is think about how we recruit people and make a serious effort to say to people, maybe in the newsletter, maybe we should have a regular thing in the newsletter that, these are things that you could volunteer to do. We've had success with that before.
okay, I actually think I would like to throw this out there. I'm gonna propose that we make this a board member position, that we add a member position to before our elections start, which should start within the next month. So I'm gonna put that on the table. And I'm gonna hope that somebody seconds it. And then
Well,
we can
I
vote on
don't
it.
think there is a quorum, Stacy. You have
Wait,
you
who
and
left?
Ginny and Sergi are the only board members.
Oh, did Alex leave?
Yes, she had to leave at 6.
Shoot, we had 4 of us. Okay. Okay, never mind. We'll do this. I'm gonna send this out in an email. We're gonna do this by email.
Okay.
I'm gonna say maybe that I'm gonna write something up about this, because if it's a board member position, I'm gonna reach out to do you have her name, the woman who was interested in doing social media for us, Hazel?
No, I don't remember the discussion.
Okay, I think I can remember. She was at happy hour with us. Okay. Stacy is going to send, I guess, a vote by email. I don't know what to call it, a vote by email about creating a new board member position. And this could be something that someone's like, oh, this is exactly what, this might be also a younger person who loves social media. I absolutely hate social media. I'm never getting on X. I'm never doing any of this. So I do Facebook for my family only. You'll never see me posting my stories on Facebook. Anyway, okay, enough of that. Okay. So we will, I'll keep moving on this, Hazel. I'm gonna reach out to this woman. I think her name's Colette. I gotta try to find her. We also have you reached out to the woman who wants to do the database?
Yes, I have 2 volunteers for the database, and I emailed them both right after Media Fest and told them I was leaving on vacation and I would be back in touch. And they both got back to me and said, I can't believe that you've already gotten in touch with me, and I'm looking forward to working together.
Oh, good. Okay. One of them's Carrie, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Who's the other one?
I
Do
don't
you
remember
remember?
the name.
Okay.
I
Okay.
got it in email, so.
Okay. I gotta try to do everything I can to come up with this woman who wants who was interested in this. And I might just put this out on Facebook. Just say we're creating a new board. If people, if people agree to this, if we vote on it and it's a yes. I might use our social media to find the person.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to move on from that. And the same thing with X. I think this is going to be, if we can create a position and have somebody fill it, this is what they're going to do is X, Blue Sky, and Facebook. I don't know why I can't remember Facebook. Blue Sky, we're going to have to take back, I guess. I know Susan's been kind of overseeing it, but if we gotta put it all in one person's hands, I think.
I agree. But what about LinkedIn, Stacy? There has to be a way for us to be using LinkedIn. It's really become the professional social media place.
Well, okay, then let's put that on, if we can get somebody to run for this position. I'd
Just
love for
to
them to,
evaluate and see
what'd
what
you say?
could we be doing? What could we be doing?
Okay. And I wonder too, if LinkedIn, if that replaces the others.
Maybe. And I think that might be a really good idea.
Instead
But
of having somebody manage all four, just manage one or two, like LinkedIn and Facebook, right? Or
right.
LinkedIn and Blue Sky. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Those are all things to discuss. I'm gonna just put question marks here. Okay. I don't think I have it in me to talk about webinars right now, but we will be doing webinars at the start of the year. We're not going to do one in December because unless somebody wants to do one in December, I think we had talked about doing one on taxes. I think if we do that, we could do that in January. I think Ruth has taken that on before, and found someone. I know you have too, Hazel. So, Celia left. Bye, Celia. I'm terrible about seeing who's coming and going. Okay, so I think we're just gonna wait, especially since there's just a couple of us on the board here at the moment. I think a taxes one would be good if we did it in January. If not, we can maybe start them up in February. So we need to figure out the elections. That's the biggest issue. We've got about 8 minutes to talk about it. Also, Hazel, you mentioned that Hillary needs to do less, but I didn't know she was doing any of this.
She's not doing anything. She's recovering.
Oh, I know, but in your email you said she needs to get out too, and I'm like, wait, what is she doing?
She's a moderator. She's still a moderator, and she created a lot of the collateral that's on the Facebook. And so if she's no longer a moderator and no longer really in the group, then I think her collateral may disappear. I don't know the answer, but
Okay, that's something I think we need to find out from her.
yeah.
She has done the elections in the past. I guess that was my question, is we need an outside person to run the elections. It can't be any of us. And I do not know how to go about doing this. I'm going to be very honest. I don't know how to do this. I've never been part of the process in the back, and because I've always run for a position. Hillary's done it for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know, I'm not going to say it on a recording, but I know that she's recovering and might not be up for it right now, but I don't know if she can.
Let let's take this offline and you and I will
Okay.
put
I
our
think as
heads
long as we
together.
have them, I think as long as we have them by the end of the year, I would love for them to be the first week of December. That's pretty soon, the first or second week of December before Christmas, right? I'd like to have them be before Christmas, and maybe they don't have to be, 10 days to submit your name, and 10 days, it might not be that. It might be 7 days to submit, 7 days to vote. That's it,
Yep.
Um,
All right.
okay, and our just before we cut out our let me stop this sharing. Ginny and Sergi, are you both going to run again? Let's talk about putting you on the spot.
I'm still hanging around. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
I think someone can do a far more better job of membership than I can. Just like last time, like I said, I worry about, managing what I do as managing editor. So, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm here.
Okay.
I
Okay.
will not leave.
I can stay too unless we need a spot for somebody else that wants to fill it. But
No, you're staying. Okay. And
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
I had talked before about that this might be my last year doing this just with my overwhelm, but we got a whole room at the conference and I can't leave now because I loved it and I want to do it again. So I just don't want to leave. I certainly don't have to be chair, but I still want to be on the board. So I'm just gonna, I'm coming back too. So at least the three of us are gonna run. Brian, if you want to run, we've got open positions. If you feel like throwing your hat in the ring. We've got, I think Nicole will run too, is my guess. But we have some at-large positions that really just kind of a voice and, can kind of help out here and there. Maybe not, it's not that you're taking notes at every meeting or anything like that. There's no real specific job, but it could be things like, hey, the social media manager, if we do get one of those, is, can't do it for the next couple of weeks. We'd have one of the at-large members step in. So anyway, we should do that now too. We should put, so Hazel, let's you and I talk after this because we should put a list out of the positions too, before people decide what they want to run for.
All right. I can't do any more today.
Oh, are you kidding me? I can't either. I can't even do any more this week. No, we'll talk in the next 3 or 4 days.
1 hour. We're done.
I know. Okay. My brain is fried. Brian, just so you know, I'm an English teacher and I also am a freelance TV producer. So I have a TV show we're in the 5th episode of season 11 right now, and it's nuts. And I'm also the digital editor of that TV show's website. Plus I'm an English teacher and I'm getting my master's degree. And that's what I've been working on all day today, is a big project due on Sunday. So and I got 2 little kids. So my brain's being pulled in all these different directions, but as soon as school's over, I got 2 more classes after these 2. I'll be back to somewhat of a normal life. I hope. I say that, but then, never happens.
I have to laugh. What is
You've been
normal
trying to-
life?
You've been trying to get to a normal life and you're still like, well, that's not happening. You've been trying to retire for 5 years. I'm like, Hazel, help me.
We'll
Oh,
talk.
man.
We'll talk soon.
Okay.
I'm going to say good night. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, sounds good. I'm going to stop recording.